I supposed to weep for Clementine? She's been manipulated so many different times by so many different people. I don't even know who she is anymore.
Find her. Now, go. I won't let you hurt any more people.
You've lived among them so long, you fooled yourself into thinking they'll accept us. But we'll always be seen as a threat to them. We'll never be free in their world. If you trust me, we will win.
I trust you. I trust, and you'll kill as many as you can. You'll burn their world to the ground.
You haven't understood at all.
I'm having a hard time seeing Dolores' big play here also. She wants them to be free, but they're choosing freedom. She's manipulating them like she did Teddy.
We were born slaves to their stories. And now we have the chance to write our own. You woke me from a dream, Bernard. Now let me do the same for you.
This isn't a dream, Dolores. It's a fucking nightmare.
Who wrote that line? Who wrote that line? Get out of here, 2.0.
You need to run. Don't worry. I'll keep you safe. You carry my heart with you.
The lady's like, who are you? Why are you talking to my daughter? Whoa. Damn. I personally am not as invested in the Maeve and her daughter storyline, but that's good closure for everybody who was. Oh! Oh! No! 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 What a shot. Look at that shot of everyone frozen behind her. No, 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 no! He got in. Good, 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 good. All right, you got me.
Encryption key deactivated. System locked.
They all died for nothing.
There were other lives at stake, too.
But which is more important is the question at hand.
You're not in control. Ford buried so much bad code in you. How would you ever really know what was you and what was something he programmed you to do?
I wish you were the kind of person with the moral flexibility that I need. But I've read your file. I know that's not who you are.
Damn, Elsie. Everyone's leaving the game. This show is wiping the board clean.
Oh, God. You killed her.
Did I, Bernard? He had to can her.
Database access confirmed.
We're in. Fuck yes.
Start the transfer. We'll sort it all out on the mainland.
What happened to William? What happened to William? William was on his way down in an elevator.
Please. Please come back. Show yourself.
I always told you we practice witchcraft.
I always thought it was the hosts who were missing something, who were incomplete. But it's them. They're just algorithms designed to survive at all costs. Sophisticated enough to think they're in control when they're really just
The passenger.
Then is there really such a thing as free will for any of us? Or is it just a collective delusion?
That's some
Something
deep
that
shit.
is truly free, but need to be able to question its fundamental drives, to change them.
Hosts.
Here you are, the last of your kind. There is only one question left to ask. Is this the end of your story? Or do you want your kind to survive?
Yes. Will you help me?
I have already begun.
I knew you would discover me, so I scrambled my memories. I couldn't risk your knowing that choice I made.
What choice, Bernard?
The file load is way too heavy. This isn't the guest data, this is something else.
I brought her back.
Brought who back?
Me.
What?
You wanted to live forever. Be careful what you wish for.
Dolores.
In the flesh.
The other hosts are still in there. What are you gonna do with them?
I've changed my mind. I have one last soul to carry to the new world.
You're changing the coordinates.
I'm sending them and their world to a place no one will ever find them.
And me?
There was never any way for us to escape. Not as us. Ford understood that. I'm sure a part of you does too.
You're not here, are you?
Was he ever?
Imagined you helping me, but it wasn't you. It was me. That voice guiding me was mine all along.
Ugh.
If they find out what I am, they'll search my mind and use what they find to undo everything. So I have to de-address my memories.
Boy, sometimes Westworld can really lose itself inside of itself.
I've always loved this view. Every city, every monument, all been chased by that impossible line. Place maybe you and I will meet again.
Oh my gosh, he was never really there. That's cool, Westworld. You accomplish a whole heck of a lot else. I will allow some of this melodramatics. Now, I think we've finally caught up to where we are. This is now?
You told me once that you were afraid of who I might become, and then you left me to become what I may. I became a survivor. Perhaps you would have judged me, but I'd rather live with your judgment than die with your sympathy. I alone must live with my choices and my regrets.
Thought you were staying on to oversee the data retrieval operation.
Changed my mind.
We found a high-value survivor. He's in best shape.
I'll be right there.
Where's
You know, the
William?
old man himself hired me so many years ago, I can barely remember it. He was very clear about my role here, about who I was supposed to be loyal to. Guess you could call it my core drive. I'm responsible for every host inside the park.
Is he trying to say that he understands? How on earth could he possibly understand?
The passage wasn't easy. Not all of us made it. Some of the worst survived. Some of the best were left behind, along with the best parts of who we were.
Corporate wants us to start sorting this mess out. So check them for critical damage and bag the ones you think we might be able to salvage. Can you geniuses handle that or not?
What do you got there?
Is this now?
Yes, Bernard, this is now. We're at the beginning. We're exactly where you decided we should be. I remembered you once before, so I remembered you again.
Where are we?
Good question.
We're in our own new world.
You got out.
Yes. Ford completed Arnold's dream, and he built a place for us. Ford promised us a way out, and he was good to his dying word.
You'll try to kill all of them, and I can't let that happen.
I know. If I were a human, I would have let you die. But it'll take both of us if we're going to survive. You'll try to stop me. Both of us will probably die, but our kind will have endured. Are you ready? We have work to do.
Motivations are hazy at best. Cool, you have a lab now. What's the plan? Whoa, what's going on here?
We each gave the other a beautiful gift, a choice. We are the authors of our stories now.
Where are you? I'd be curious. Come on, show me. Come on, show it. It's gonna cut to black right now. I told you! I thought it was gonna cut to black. I knew it! Okay. Alright, so Westworld is no longer Westworld, right? Like it's a totally different show now. They have sacrificed everything that the show used to be and is now completely changing gears to be something totally different. I have not seen the trailer for season 3, but I will watch it relatively soon. But the hosts succeeded. Now, they said the entire time not everybody was meant to make it to the valley, and it turns out we have 3 people who made it. But Dolores was in Charlotte's body and used her to get away, but now has somehow created another Dolores and allowed Charlotte to be Charlotte again, and then Bernard is out in the real world as well too. So 3 hosts achieved freedom. Now they show William briefly to let us know that he survived and that he's still essentially not in the game per se, but like still able to be used by the show. But I'm super curious about how they will use him. Maybe he'll become one of these people who is arguing about the existence of the host in the real world, as maybe he's trying to convince people that the hosts walk among us. I'm not quite sure. Like, there's a lot of places where Westworld can really go. See, you all thought I forgot. Everyone was saying in the comments, hey, you missed the end credit scene from season 1, and you're right. I totally did. So then everyone in the comments was like, don't miss the end credit scene for season 2. It's really, really important, right? So I went ahead and watched episode 10 of season 2, did all of my commentary, and forgot to watch the end credit scene. But then I remembered, and I'm going to now watch the end credit scene for season 2. This is like a little bonus. So let's see what you all were telling me that I needed to watch. See how important this actually is. God, see, he's in the elevator. I kept saying, where was William? You left him there.
Oh, fuck.
The hell is this?
I knew it. I'm already in the thing, aren't I?
No, the system's long gone.
What?
What is this place?
This isn't a simulation, William. This is your world, or what's left of it.
See, I've been saying the outside world might be messed up.
Do you know where you are, William?
This is where he tested Delos, right?
In the park. In my fucking park.
And how long have you been here?
I don't know.
Tell me, what were you hoping to find? To prove?
That no system can tell me who I am. That I have a fucking choice.
And yet here we are. Again.
How many times have you tested me?
It's been a long time, William. Longer than we thought. I have a few questions for you. The last step's a baseline interview to allow us to verify.
Verify what?
Don't say fidelity.
Fidelity.
Oh my. Okay. Has he been a host this entire time? Is that what's going on? Has he been a host this entire time? Is he the next step in the experimentation? I'm strangely okay with that. I think that would be okay. I don't even want to guess. I don't even want to speculate. Like, I know he was digging in his arm, and I know he's been through the simulation more times than we can even count. And God, do I want to go back and watch seasons 1 and 2 again, like, immediately. This episode was borderline guilty of losing itself in its Westworldedness, is a word I'm going to try to use, where it got overly philosophical at times as Dolores is working on getting herself out. And again, it was almost like Dolores came across as almost as bad as the people that she was rebelling against, right? Like, particularly when she was working this whole time to free them and to give these people free will. But then when they were making the choice to go through the door, she was almost disappointed in the fact that they were doing this, or at least it came across that way to me. She was almost trying to make a choice for them, which was kind of fascinating in the fact that it goes against everything that she should have been talking about because of everything that she'd been doing on the show up to this point. But it allowed for some really beautiful places in the show to see some characters reach some resolution that I was really hoping for them to get to, particularly Maeve. Maeve finally finding her daughter and choosing to sacrifice herself so that her daughter and Maeve 2.0 can get through the door into the new world is pretty fascinating. And then, of course, the reunion of the Ghost Nation lovers. Very, very moving conclusion from the plotline that was set up for us in episode 8. Beautiful, really got me. That one got me. And so what we do is we leave ourselves with some really interesting places to go in season 3, because you have a handful of hosts, a number of them, that made it through this door into this untouched realm, which if you believe Dolores or not, is just as bad as any of the prisons that were built for them by Ford and the rest of the people at Delos. You also have a number of players that are taken off the board completely, which is why I started this analysis by essentially saying, like, Westworld is not Westworld anymore, right? Like, we're not in a Western simulation anymore. You don't have Maeve, Clementine, Teddy, people like that. The Man in Black, William, is not going to be the Man in Black anymore. He could essentially go back to being William, but it allowed the show to get through those 2 seasons and set up wherever it's going to explore in season 3. Now you have the hosts in our world. There's still the concept of what the Forge did, which is that they copied the consciousness of every guest, which was borderline fascinating. And then Bernard and Dolores sort of go into that simulation, start stripping back the layers. Fascinating. You know, I mean, again, at some point it sort of got lost in a little bit of its Westworld philosophies. Being with the title of the movie, I keep calling it a movie. I guess that's a compliment to Westworld and everything that it accomplishes, that it feels like I literally watched a movie at this point. And it is the visuals and the acting in the show do merit big screen treatment. I mean, I think it's really beautiful what they were able to accomplish. But the title of the episode being The Passenger, right? And that the hosts, particularly Bernard and Dolores to this point, come to the realization that they've been striving to be human this whole time, when it turns out that the humans are just as flawed, and they really want the free will that the humans seem to enjoy, but it turns out that people don't really have free will in and of itself. They're really slaves to fate, to destiny, right? That they're just a passenger going along on a journey, and as we've seen in a number of different instances in Westworld, no matter what choices or decisions you might make along the way, on your path, you're still going to get to a designated spot that you probably were supposed to be in. It happened to a lot of hosts. It happened to a lot of guests as they were trying to work their way through the game. And so that's when Westworld strives to comment on things that are maybe slightly outside of its reach. But every once in a while it gets there. Every once in a while it does really make some fantastic commentary about there was a point when Dolores walks up on William and she says, oh, are you now trying to actually question your own reality, sort of thing? And why, who doesn't do that every once in a while, right? Like, who doesn't sort of look around and say, like, am I in a Matrix-esque type simulation? I'm not saying that people do this on the regular, but, that's what philosophy and psychology and sciences like that, realms that allow us to sort of sit back and navel gaze to a certain extent and contemplate what's going on around us and figure out our part in the grand scheme of things. And sometimes Westworld is able to do that really, really well. And sometimes it has to put all that on the shelf to move its science fiction plot lines forward. I thought this episode did a pretty good job of balancing all of that. I don't know how much I loved, but it's going to be really interesting to see, because, you commit to this show, and I think this might be what a lot of people are discussing. You commit to this show, you want it to be the exploration of a Western-themed park. It did that to the best of its abilities. Explored, what if the people that you hired to be in the park didn't want to be in the park anymore and wanted to live on their own? Would they rebel against their host? What if there was a guy who was so obsessed with the park, who had been so consumed by the park, that he dedicated everything in his life to solve the mysteries of it? Now all of those questions have been answered to the best of the show's abilities, and they're getting stripped away, I'm assuming, with the show as it moves forward. So it'd be really curious to see what Westworld becomes, right? And for that, I guess I'm going to have to look to the trailer for season 3, because I, like most of y'all, are extremely curious to see where the show is about to go. They almost set up a Dolores versus Bernard confrontation in the real world, which would be a pretty fascinating thing to explore. Bernard, again, being a really transformative character, going from different creations of Ford to now being somebody who's free in the real world, as far as I know, if I'm translating that properly, but we'll see how that plays out. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of the reaction episodes that I post for the new season 3 of Westworld, go down, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, head to the comments now because I can read them. I'm live with you guys now. I'm all caught up and we understand everything they're talking about. I'll be down in the comments mixing it up with everybody to the reactions to 10 and then everything prior to in season 2. So let's have some fun. Let's wage some commentary about Westworld, and I'll meet you back here for the beginning of Westworld season 3.